Those no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Mace and Sonya and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' start. They ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. Time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
When is my people gonna stop the hate? Look in the mirror, realize you great. But we always argue with our brothers, but it's others gon' take our place. Stay in tune and stay on top. About who forwards and about who not. Just green light the black economy. Then watch all the shooting gon' stop. To my black people in power, just remember who put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario or not Bowser. They gave us a hot job. We gon' make it if we do it together. Divided before we gotta evolve. We confidence you with it before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' be the people.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Who's telling the lies? Who's telling the truth? Black people realize the sun shines for you. So stop the divide. See what melanin do. What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it. On the count of 3, let's go.
I love being black. I love being black. May say it. I love being black. I say it. I love being black.
Now, the one thing that everyone seems to have forgotten here tonight is that what you're talking about in the capitalistic form of government is power. This is the only thing that this country responds to is power. Economic power and political power.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 For the black people, for the black people, what's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you all for tuning in to Minding Our Black-Owned Business. So happy to be here on now would be my 4th episode, so that's exciting. We are focused on, my name is Tenille Jackson, so I guess that's important. Maze gave me all my tips and pointers last week, but my name is Tenille Jackson. I am the host of this podcast that I'll only be doing now for the fourth quarter of 2020. And the goal here is to focus on highlighting Black business owners and making sure that we're amplifying the right messaging as it relates to the journey, the story, and the plight of the Black business owner, especially now in 2020. So I'm excited. Thank you all for getting up and tuning in and doing all that good stuff. And in studio today, I have my friend who I hope to make laugh so you all can hear him laugh. My friend Toure Muhammad from Bean Soup Times and other entities. So Toure, just so you know, I never read bios, so you notice I didn't ask you for anything. I was like, whatever. Because I like to introduce my guests, because most of my guests will be my friends or people that I've known for a long time.
Right.
And so I like to consider you in the world of what we do kind of my business buddy, right? If I have a budget, I'm sharing. If you have a budget, you're sharing. And we are digital strategists, content curators, whatever, pick a title. You can run whatever titles you want to. But at the end of the day, Toure is my friend that I can count on when it comes to making sure that our business or any client that we have, just that amplification. So for any of my clients that are listening, you always see Bean Soup Times as a line item in there, just because I understand and respect the strength of what you do and what you've been doing now for, it's got to be over 20 years, right?
Since Nas was still Matic.
Mm-hmm. Do what?
Since Nas was still Matic. 2001.
Yes, so please introduce yourself or, give us a little bit of background about you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm so excited to be here with you. I feel the same way about you. I appreciate you. I don't tell everybody this, but I've told you before that you're one of my favorite people.
Yay.
Now,
you're one of my favorite people too, though.
And I know a lot of people.
Hey, I'll take
so all
that.
my people they're gonna get offended. 'Cause I don't tell everybody that. But you are your spirit, your energy, your commitment to excellence, business savviness, man, it's just and the way you think about me.
Yeah.
To be honest, right? I like people who like me.
Hey, hit that PayPal link right quick.
So, man, it's absolutely a pleasure to be here on this new platform. Congrats on this theme for your show. I love it. We need to be minding our own Black business.
Right? And when I was thinking about this, I said, okay, I can't run this out. And we'll talk strategy a little bit, but strategically, it was weird to be, let me strategize for myself a little bit. Then I was like, let me know myself and let me know that I'm only going to do about 10, 12 of these. Then I'll come back and do something different. But I at least wanted to highlight 10 or 12 of my friends that kind of, got it going. So right. Bean Soup Times.
Yes.
You're more than just Bean Soup Times, right?
Yes.
Like, let's talk about that.
Yes.
So did you ever, I've never known for you to have a job other than your own business. So is there a job story or did you just wake up and then, hey, I'm a business owner?
No, it's been a journey. So I started off as a print journalist for the Final Call newspaper.
Okay.
In the early 90s, right?
Ooh,
Mid-90s, right? I'm seasoned. If I let this grow out, you'll see something, right? So from there, I went to nonprofit communications. I worked for a national nonprofit organization doing grant writing, communications, and media outreach. Mm-hmm. Then I went to my last full-time job. I left in 2009.
Ooh.
I was the press secretary and communications director for Congressman Bobby Rush.
Really?
Right. So I left him in 2009. So but in the meantime, I started Bean Soup Times, right? So some people knew I was in business, didn't know I had a full-time job.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Okay.
Right. I remember I used to have to, when I scheduled my emails to go out, sometimes I make sure I was in Congressman Rush's face because I wanted to make sure he knew that I wasn't using his time
right
to promote, to do the business, because he knew and he was on my email list.
Right. And was it an okay time to do that? Because now it's kind of known if you work and you got something, right? But everybody that I've had come in, so before you, I had Maze. I talked to Maze first. Then I talked to Ishonia Scott, who owns Essie Marie. She does the vegan, heart-healthy dressings. And then last week I talked to Chef Cliff Rome. And that is the story, right? I worked. But then when I got off work, I was doing my other job. But for you, at the time that you started, that wasn't necessarily well received as it is now, right?
It wasn't in general.
Okay.
But I found a lane that was acceptable because even, let's take, for example, for Congressman Rush, right? To have somebody on staff who was on his team that also had a media outlet, I mean, that didn't hurt him, you know.
It never. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, especially, it never hurts,
Exactly.
and especially now, I think it's more kind of like, so you ain't got no media outlet now,
Right? Exactly.
What you bringing to the table?
Right, you know, followers on Facebook,
Right.
you don't have some kind of media.
It's now part of the new job application.
Exactly.
So, what else will you bring to the table besides your degrees that you're still paying for? But
Right,
yeah,
that's
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
So he appreciated that, and then of course we were able to, in off hours and on vacations, right, help with campaign type stuff.
Yep.
And then we had an open angle, so even if the media didn't cover it, you know, and it's much more common now, but back then, if you didn't get media to cover your events, it was like it didn't happen almost,
Man.
right?
And
You couldn't put it on Facebook.
And the struggle was different, right?
Exactly,
Like the
exactly.
steps. And so that's part of what I think, and where I think you and I have always connected, is we're old school, right? But I believe we've successfully made that pivot. So we didn't stay stuck,
Yes.
right? So we understand the importance of writing the press release. I don't write press releases though. Hey, Ashley. The importance of the steps that it takes to do the work necessary. But now you fast forward to 2020, and it's kind of like, have Facebook page, spend time building up your following. I am my own press.
That's
I
right.
will beat the story. I was at a press conference the other day, and I was like, you know what? Let me just let them do their job, because this is a real story. And if I post about it for real, then people be asking me questions that I'm not prepared for. So it's a
Right.
double-edged sword sometimes, because you can be first. A lot of
That's
times
right.
we are first.
That's right.
On the set, on the scene, but it's that whole process. So, okay. So you had jobs, and then when did you know it was time to go out on your own?
Well, it was time for me to leave Congressman Rush.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't want to go work anywhere else, right? So I said to myself, either I have to step out on faith and leave this comfortable position, or I'm going to be challenged with, am I ever going to really fully step out, right? Because I knew I couldn't grow and still doing 40. And, you know, working for a member of Congress, you're doing more than 40 hours.
What? You're
Right.
doing 99 hours plus another one.
Exactly. I'm going back and forth to D.C. with him every week during when Congress was in session. And, you know, first that was cute.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be in D.C. You know. That was real cute. And, you know,
Right.
walking through the halls in the Capitol after 2 years, 3 years doing that. I was like, you know what?
My feet hurt.
Congress, can I stay at home? You know, I can do everything you need me to do from Chicago. He's like, no.
Right? Oh, gosh.
Right. So that was part of the challenge. I knew I couldn't keep that pace up. My children were still young. So I said, let me do something I can stay at home more, be around them, and not short circuits this dream I have to really build something bigger.
Yep. And that's important, right? Especially when you're, like you said, jobs are cool, and you know you've got to do it, and you've got to do what you've got to do to eat at the end of the day. But there does come a point in your life, especially if you're on that fence for being an entrepreneur and figuring it out, it is that I got to make decisions for my family, because that's how I am. I'm kind of like Reagan, well, my mom, Reagan, you know,
Right.
and can I just zoom, especially now, can I just zoom in?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So let's talk about so you decided to go ahead and make this a full-time thing, right? Was it easy?
No, it was not easy. It was very
How
difficult.
did I know that answer? How did I know?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge because I had to cross that bridge, and it took a while to do it. Where I went from, okay, I know how to write. Okay, I know how to network. Okay, I know how to do certain skills. Right, I know how to get media coverage, but I never ran a business. Right, so I needed to really now start focusing on how to build business.
Yep.
And then be able to bring people on to help, right? Because it's only so many press releases. I'm like you, I need somebody to write these press releases, right?
What do you want to say?
Right.
Who do you want me to send it to? Okay.
Right, exactly.
What you mean you don't know what you want to say?
Okay, who's your audience?
Yeah.
Right? I want to be on Oprah.
But
I want to be on World
straight
Star,
to the top,
right?
straight to the top, right?
Okay,
Because we're going to
but-
talk about that a little bit. In between one of these segments, we're going to have kind of the overall. We won't be talking about any specific client, but we're going to talk about that process for
Yes.
hiring us.
Yes.
And what that looks like and what that struggle can look like a little
Yes.
bit as it relates to simply being what we are, strategists. And so what do you define yourself as? So what's your quick?
So I'm a content and digital marketing strategist.
Okay. Very
Right?
good.
It's real simple.
Okay. What do you do?
And so first of all, this is the key thing, right? We're going to help you to first of all understand what your strategy is and then help you put together a plan of execution.
I got to pay for that?
Oh, yeah.
But, huh?
Oh, yeah.
But that's not the plan.
No, I'm going to do a plan for you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to pay for that.
Oh,
So
nice.
even if you decide you don't want to use me, I've given you a blueprint, right? And I'm helping you to understand because, right, so many people are in business and we get a certain measure of success, right, because we're new to the market. We get a certain measure of success because we have friends and family who support us. And then once things level off, right, and they want to hit that next plateau, they have a bunch of flyers sitting around, a bunch of marketing materials, and none of it is really expressing their core values. It's not really expressing who they are, right? You got 5 different colors on this flyer and 20 on this one, and there's nothing that makes you distinct and memorable.
We
right?
hurt your feelings. Would you
We
agree?
do.
Yeah,
We do.
Right? I mean, it was hard for me because it took a minute because I've got a lot of skills like you, right? So I can do stuff. And it was like, what box do I want to put myself in as it relates to the business? Because you don't just figure out what your business is. You kind of have to evolve into it, right? It's not like sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, I got a vision, I'm going to do this. But it takes a little minute. So when we come back, we're going to talk about what that looks like and how you got to where you are. And we'll talk about clients a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right, very good. You're tuned in to Minding Our Black-Owned Business on What's in It for the Black People Media.
All right, so
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Minding Our Black-Owned Business with host Tenille Jackson. My guest today is Toure Muhammad of Bean Soup Times, and we are talking shop. So I realized that I had done 3 episodes, and I have not just been able to bring somebody in and talk about what we literally do for a living every day. So essentially, we're both digital strategists with different spins on what we do. And we've got a lot of stories we can swap and all that good stuff. But the purpose of today's podcast, I really want people to understand the role and importance of a strategist. And then just kind of, talk about our clients and kind of the role we play, especially for some of these clients that you now have heard about or you hear about all the time, but somebody had to believe in them first, right?
that's right.
Ideally, right? Somebody had to go and pitch them or figure it out. So the one I am always will give you claim to fame for is Sean Michelle's, right? You've been with Sean Michelle. So Sean Michelle is a Black-owned ice cream shop. Talk about your client.
Man, so, it turns out this is a friend. We played Little League Baseball together.
Really?
Right, so we go way back.
Okay.
And he tells a story about how a woman came to the baseball field and sold homemade ice cream.
Okay.
that's what sparked his desire and love at an early age to go into business.
That's crazy.
Selling ice cream,
That's
right?
nice.
So I used to purchase ice cream from him when he had no brick and mortar. He was making his ice cream, putting it in containers, and then putting it into a cooler with dried ice.
Okay.
And he'd pull up to my house in the middle of winter with quarts of ice cream.
That's the best time to have ice creams in the
Man,
winter.
I'm telling you,
People
I
do
love
not.
it.
People underestimate what ice cream does for you in the winter. I'm a winter baby, but ice cream in the winter. Oh.
It's wonderful. It's a
Okay,
wonderful thing.
Go ahead.
Right. So he was on, I did the first story on him in the Final Call newspaper. This was when he was on 79th and like Langley.
Okay.
Right. And we've been in different ways helping and assisting and helping to promote him since the beginning.
Wow.
And the ice cream, I think he knew he had something, but he had a sister who really told him, look, you got to do this. His big sister he looked up to. So, and that's who the business is named after.
Okay.
Sean Michelle.
Okay.
That's his older sister who was killed in a drunk car crash.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Somebody was driving drunk and hit her car and she was killed.
Oh.
So he changed the name because it used to be called Jabril Supreme Cream.
Okay.
So he named it after her. Just did a beautiful unveiling. Has a nice portrait of her in the restaurant. I mean,
Okay.
in the ice cream shop
Yep.
now. So, man, we've been from helping him with his email marketing, helping him with social media, right? Getting him media coverage,
Yep.
right? Really chronicling and getting testimonies
Yep.
from his clientele. We've been just helping him in any and every way that we can to promote his business.
Because let's talk about the part where you do have to believe in people before they have a budget.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
I helped we were friends.
Right? Right. And so it always helps when they're friends. And it always helps when you like the person. I cannot stress that enough.
Oh, that's so key.
If you get a strategist's ear and you have happened to hook them on your story, it's not one of those kind of keep us happy type things, but it is kind of understand that strategists are always thinking about you. So there is no clock.
That's right.
Yet there is no billable hours. Yes, it is. And, when you're starting off in your business and people say, how much does it cost? You want to say, oh, well, what it's supposed to cost
Right.
is this.
This is what it should cost.
Right? Because I know that if I tell you what it really costs, and for me, I was fortunate enough to have a great client, shout out to Feld Entertainment, that Mays passed down to me. So when I started my business, I had the Disney on Ice and the Ringling Brothers. So I had a measure of what that check was supposed to look like. Let's
Right.
just be very
Right.
real. But then your heart and the compassion for others and building businesses, because we knew what the struggle was to just build our own businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that whole thing of, give me a little something. If you give me a little something or respect what I've got going on, because you're not cutting contracts with your friends necessarily, right? You're just believing in them, because that's that part. And I know you and I both believe that a lot of times when you give back to others, it comes back tenfold. And
That's
it
right.
does, right?
That's
So there are those clients where you're like, I didn't start off like this. I didn't start off like that. But I will always credit you to the success of Sean Michelle's, because I never, in addition to everybody else, but just from a strategy marketing standpoint, you did your thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brown Sugar Bakery. Can we talk about Miss Stephanie?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But let me say this last point about Sean Michelle's.
Okay.
We're doing a children's book
Really?
about the boy who loved ice cream.
Oh, that's so smart.
Right. And it ties, of course, it's going to tie right into him. So this is going to be,
That's so
I
smart.
want to make Sean Michelle's a household name.
Yep.
Right. And so this would be a way, and it's the McDonald's theme, right? We're going to do something for the babies,
Yep.
right? We're going to do something that engages the children so they can grow up.
That's it.
Right.
That's
and
it.
and this is so beautiful because the theme is what most of us don't understand is long-term repeat customers. Right. And most of us don't get to that point where we're thinking about, okay, the next generation.
Yep.
Right. How are we going to make sure they're coming in, because our clientele is getting a little bit older.
Yep.
Right. Of course, he has the ones that come in for the butter pecan and the black walnut.
Man.
Right. And that's old school.
That's so old
right?
school.
But you got to get them babies.
Yep.
Right. You want to get them the ice cream babies.
Yep.
And now the transition to Brown Sugar Bakery. She has a Brown Sugar Bakery baby theme that sometimes we put out there. We catch a child. She has families, right? Their wedding cake
Mm-hmm.
is a Brown Sugar Bakery cake. their first child's cupcake.
Man.
Is
Everything.
a brown sugar bakery cupcake, right? So now you have children who are growing up.
Yep.
They're 5, 6, 9 years old,
Yep.
and all they've known is brown sugar bakery.
Yeah.
My parents got married with a brown sugar cake. So
That's crazy. I did Crazy Cake House is a person that I used to support and still support her. But it is that. I think that it's on, shout out to the Chicagoland Mom Squad. Hey, Maria, I see you.
yes,
But it is on us to introduce our children to new brands, that these emerging brands, so that they, like you said, so that they can grow up with it. After school treats should be going to Sean Michelle's. Back
That's
in
right.
the day, it was going to Baskin and Robbins.
right.
If you're on the South Side, you're supposed to go to Sean Michelle's.
That's
You're
right.
supposed to stand in the line. You're supposed to be excited when you see that line. Be patient, stand in the line, and do those things. Same thing with Brown Sugar Bakery. And that's all essentially the role of the strategist. So when we talk about the role of the strategist, sometimes it's not only hurting your feelings because you started something and it may not have worked. We're the people that are going to tell you, can we start with the logo? Can we let's start somewhere. But
What's wrong with my logo?
do you sometimes feel like a counselor though for businesses? Like
Absolutely. And you have to have patience
oh
because sometimes, it's like a relationship, right?
man.
Sometimes you have to say something and you know it's right, but the other party is not agreeing with it yet. So you just got to sit back and let a little time go past.
And I've gotten, but that's why when I really kind of hit my stride with digital vision, I was like, you know what? I'm not having emotional based conversations because I am that one. People know I will fall in love with the story. You start irritating me without a check, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Because my peace of mind, I'm in my 40s, those types of things. But it is that I need to know that your mindset is where it is, because a lot of times, especially strategically, when I started Digital Vision, I was social media management and engagement until I realized the business aspect wasn't necessarily in order to put you out there. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people.
It is.
You're not social media ready. You're just not. You're not radio ready. You're not ready from the standpoint of you need to get things in order. That's how I fell down the rabbit hole with Chef Rome. Let's be honest. I was like, okay, wait, you don't have Google? Okay, let me back into that, right? Let me back into that. But then it also helped me to build up my business as it related to, this is a line item. Oh, you don't know anybody? That's relationship management. Oh, you need this? That's this. Because I send out the email. Sounds good. I can curate the email all day. Where's your list? Then they hand you a box of cards.
Right.
Oh, you need data entry.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you need data entry. Hold on.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
Like, oh, you want to use my list?
Right.
That's a different, because for me, where I hire you the most is your list. Your list is strong, right? And what I love about the relationships that I have with different digital strategists and marketers, for those that allow for that relationship, if we do it right and everybody gets a little bit, we're really amplifying and we're talking to the people that your client essentially needs. Who I'm talking to is not who you're talking to on a daily basis. I'm not in the Nation of Islam, right? But that don't mean the Nation of Islam don't have any money.
Right.
You're not a mom. That doesn't mean the Mom Squad can't come and support that great flyer that you posted this morning for the event happening on 75th Street.
Right.
Right? So it's those types of relationships that I believe we need and are so important. Do you find that people are willing to collaborate, or is it kind of like Toure's in the box? Because you're well respected by everybody. So your name is good in the streets. But do you feel like the collaborations are important, or are you kind of like, I got it?
No, they are important, right?
Okay.
And they help, especially when your clientele gets bigger or when you want to make sure that they get a real good splash, right? So there are many times when I take a client, I say, look, let's put a little bit of money over here with
the medium.
4 or 5 different mediums,
Yep.
right? So that we can get this amplified and more people are talking about you. Yep. And when I talk to clients about overall in general, I say, look, make sure you're reaching out to folks. Yeah, that's fine. You calling me for a press release. And this is a great story. So we're gonna run with this, right? but also do some ad buys
Yep.
with these outlets. Make sure you're spending some money so they can talk about you on their social media page if they're a strong influencer, right? And, you know, we just did something with Sissy Taco Bar.
Yep.
We gotta be.
Yep.
We have to be on the show, right?
And first of all, you made that buy so seamless. Thank you so much. So
Well, that's how we do. That's how
listen.
you always make it with me. So I'm make that. I have to reciprocate that.
I'm like, I got this. Whatever you decide is what it is. And that to me is the beauty of our relationship, but having the seasoned professionals in the world that's like, hey, let me hit this button. I know I got 5 people in Chicago I can call right now, and I can touch everybody if I needed to.
That's right.
Right? I know that I got to have some money, right? Because we're not free. And I think in solidarity, we all agree to that. Right?
Right.
There is no, I know if I really needed something, I can call you, Toure, run that right quick,
I
right?
got you.
Or even when we opened up here, you're like, I got y'all, right?
Right.
I can
didn't even talk about it.
No, because and that's that part, right?
That's right.
And sometimes I'll see something you have, and I'll say, oh, let me put that in the mom squad. There's no
Right.
check associated with that. There's no, I can do it for you for 50. It's not that. It's just the relationships that are long standing, that we need, that we know at the end of the day, especially for the strategist. And this conversation is really for people who haven't hired a strategist yet, have a strategist. You need to evaluate the relationships that they have with others.
That's right.
It's not just people, especially the newbies in the game. And the newbies in the game respect you. We love it. Because I'm big on maintaining my relationships with the younger people too.
That's key.
That's key, right?
key.
So the Marcels of the world and the Domaties of the world, those are my people.
That's right.
Those are my people because I'm not talking to 20-year-olds. I am 40, right? So when it all said and done, I need them
That's
to,
right.
to have that relationship.
Have that conversation.
To have the conversation. So I think that it's important to realize that as a strategist, it's not just about where you as a business owner or you as a client think you're supposed to be. There's steps. Right?
That's right.
There's steps to this. There's a process to this. And you've got to respect the role of the strategist. Now, I can be very honest. To me, I don't believe that I'm always the strategist that knows everything. But I feel like when you've done your research and you've reached out to me to pick my brain, you're either going to respect the part of what I'm asking you to do and telling you to do, but you can't switch up what I've asked you to do and then tell me it didn't work. That's not what I said to do.
Exactly.
It's definitely not what I said to do. But
Oh,
now
I love that.
I got chip on my shoulder. Can you tell? Just a little bit. Just a little bit
Man,
this
I'm
morning.
with you. I'm
Because I
with
get to
you.
talk shop. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with Minding Our Black-Owned Business. I'm talking to Toure Muhammad this morning on What's in It for the Black People Media.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 For the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people, 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 for
Yep. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you. My board app taking a break? Yeah, it's okay. Hey, shout out to Mace Jackson. It's okay. I got this. You started training me last week, so it's all good. I'm like, hey, what about us? So let's talk. So we've been having fun off air too, talking about stuff. But let's talk a little bit about clients again, right? Because I want to talk about the role of the consumer and what we need of others. But a lot of times when you're shopping around for a strategist, first of all, do you know you need a strategist? Right?
Right.
Because are you of the mindset everybody needs a strategist?
Everybody needs a strategist, right? And now I'm learning more how to find my particular go-to type client.
Right.
It's somebody who knows they need a strategy. They have had some measure of success, but they want to go to the next level. And they don't have a marketing department. They at least, 10 to 15 employees at least, up to 100.
Oh, you fancy.
But it gives me an idea, right, of what I need to, where my sweet spot is,
and
right?
What their budget's gonna be.
And what's their budget's gonna be.
Let's just be real.
Right. And you need to be making at least $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Because then I know you're gonna put something towards that marketing. And then I'm really encouraging them to how do they train their staff to be a part of their promoting their core values, right? How to make sure the staff is taking those opportunities to find, wait a minute, you mean to tell me a celebrity came into the store and no one took a picture?
Listen, there have been many of days, and I had to grow to this with Peaches. So when I first started, I'm like, no, I got it. Everything is, I got it. I'll be there. And then I'm like, I'll be here every day. Listen, you angle ever so slightly, angle your wrist,
right.
right? Because there will be missed opportunities. And it's funny that you put a dollar value on it. And I think that's great because we are not we're not your kids at the house that can tweet for you. And I think there was a time in the social media space where the industry wasn't respected.
Right.
It was needed. It was known it was needed. It wasn't respected. And so here we are a little bit older doing the young people's thing. Oh, you can just tweet. No, you better find your niece and tell your niece. But then when your niece doesn't get engagement or when your niece doesn't, but it starts backwards. From a strategist, what's our number one question? What's your number one question to your client?
So the first question is, what is your strategy?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I want to see where they're at. If they have one already, then okay, let me see how I can either make it better or just execute what you need to be executed. Yep. If there's no strategy, then that's my first question now is, okay, who are you?
Yep.
And what do you do?
Yep.
Then.
Because sometimes it starts with the personal. And people don't understand that now, maybe I'm going to say almost 10 years ago, and my personal strategy was understanding that my personal life, the part that I let people see, was so interconnected to where I was going. I'm a mom. I'm building a network of 13,000 moms. There's certain things I can't be seen doing. Not that I do them, but that was a long-term strategy that I needed to make sure that, I've got to post pictures of me and Reagan. I might want to be private, but hey, that type of thing. So it's that, I think that's a hard part of the personal.
Ooh, that's so hard for a lot of business owners.
Yep. Let me clean up your page first before we even start about, and even if we don't strategically decide to use your page, who are you? Because now we can look. Are you on LinkedIn or are you on Facebook? But what are you talking about? And your messages as a business owner cannot conflict. They can't conflict.
They have to coincide.
Yep.
That's
and
right.
Especially now, people are like, what are your core values as it relates to society? Sometimes your political views, right? All of that matters. So anyway, your first question is, what's your strategy? If you have one, don't have one. So you know where to go.
Where to go, right.
What's the next question? The one we just got finished talking about the audience.
So who is your target audience?
Yep.
Right? Because, and I learned this backing into it, right? This is what I had to learn about business, right? I'm telling everybody, listen, I have 20,000 people on my email list. Just send it to me and we'll send it out, right? We're going to get you some engagement. For some of my clients, I was the man.
Yep.
I'm absolutely on top of the world with them. They can't, nothing I do is wrong.
Yep.
And then other clients were getting nothing, right? So now I kind of say, okay, why did it work for them and not them? Okay, my audience is not the audience you're looking for.
Because you've got to know.
So now I got to do it with integrity. Now I have to say, you know what? I'm not gonna take your money.
People don't like that answer though.
They don't like that.
They do not like that. I wore my "I'm not for everyone" shirt on purpose.
I like that.
I knew we were gonna get this. That Facebook ad algorithms got me. So this shirt, and I was like, "What does Facebook know about me that I'm not going to share with others?" But I'm not.
They know all about you.
But I'm not, right. I'm like, but I am not for everyone, because I think you want that in a strategist, right?
That's right.
You want that in a marketer. You want that in someone that you're hiring. You want me to tell you, you know what? Nope. Let me listen. Let me give you my 15-minute, 20-minute. Listen, spiel, pick my brain. I'm going to listen. But sometimes I know myself enough to know, or I know my wheelhouse enough to know, and comfortable with it, right?
That's right.
To say, you know what? Nope, not me. Because what I don't want to hear is your mouth.
That's right.
What I'm not giving back is that money.
I'm not giving back that money. And listen, if this is your last $100,
oh, don't give it to me.
It's got to work.
Yeah.
This is my last 100, Toure.
Listen, that's how I feel right now with the role of what we're doing here. It sounds good in theory, but there's so many background things you've got to do before you start advertising. It sounds good in theory, but
That's
where,
right.
and to your point, I don't want your last $100, because you gonna sweat me about that 100. And the person that wrote me the check for the 10,000 is like, "Oh, Tenille, you're doing great. We'll do it again for the next 5 years." Meanwhile, $100 Bob is like, "Hey."
Did the email go out? I didn't see the email. Did it go out? I don't see it. Check your email. Did you look in your email?
Did you look in the email?
Right.
I didn't see it. Yeah. So it's a thing, and it's that hurt feeling. So it's what's your strategy? What's your audience? What's next? What you got?
So what's different about you? And sometimes this can be incredibly difficult, because we want to highlight what a customer's expectation is as what makes us different.
Mm-hmm.
I got the best product. Okay, everybody says that, right? Oh, I got the best customer service. Okay, people expect that, right? And I don't know necessarily if that's true with you or not.
And that I want that to not be our point. I need to, every business owner, especially the Black business owners, customer service goes with the business.
It's what
That's
you do.
not a competitive edge.
That's right.
That's the part where you're supposed to do it. We'll get on the consumer in the next part, but Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And here's something that I often talk or say. I'm promoting quality Black-owned businesses.
Yep.
Right. So I want the experience to be amazing. I want to be able to talk about you in a way like I talk about Brown Sugar Bakery and Sean Michelle's. The product is amazing.
Yep.
And then if I can tag on the end, and they Black-owned.
Yep. And can we talk
And
about
they Black-owned. Don't leave with I'm Black-owned, because I have choices still. I don't just because you're Black-owned. There are more bakeries out there. There's other places I can go. So that's not a competitive edge that you're Black-owned.
And
it's good to know, and I want to know that. But it's not what decides whether or not I'm going to spend money with you over another Black-owned business with the same product or service.
And I think that is the part. Jonathan Swain and I talk about this all the time, even to the point, Jonathan, I'm going to put you out there, even to the point of the name of my podcast. He was like, nope, that's going to run, nope. And I was like, wait, but we're Black. And we do. There was remember when there were articles that was like, maybe I shouldn't highlight the part where I'm Black-owned, because that's going to make you think about me differently. Yep. That's going to make you consider me differently. Now I just got an Amex. I'm going to pull it out for the next segment. I got an American Express decal I'm supposed to be putting on the Peaches window that says Black-owned, taking American Express. Really Amex? Really Yelp? Really Google? Like every one of these businesses now. And it is that question of, is this a fad? Is this a trend? Or are we going to ride this out? Because to your point, I always tell people, I'm 6 feet tall. I am dark skinned. You don't miss the part where I'm Black. We don't miss that part. But what happens is it's automatically like, and our numbers can go against general market numbers when it comes to engagement, reach, and making that happen. I want your bigger budget. Don't just pigeonhole me into the Black budget because you think all I know are Black people. The Mom Squad's diverse. I didn't let them in, I had to diversify a little bit for the next 10 years of the things that I want to do from a greater good. But I think it's okay to not lead with Black all the time because, like you said, and I'm Black. Yep. Because essentially I don't want you to just define me as that, because then what's the flip side of that? Oh, that's why I don't go to them
That's
because
why
they black.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
They have one bad experience, and now you represented all black businesses.
All of them.
Every single one of them.
And to your point about quality, right? Again, full transparency. We read those Peaches reviews pre-COVID, right? So we fixed up a lot of things. But when your infrastructure is not right, and the strategist or your marketers, the person that literally, because we put our personal part behind it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's that part of being selective. I don't know if I want to promote you because I don't know if I can give you my all, but we take the hit too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you told me Toure to go here, and I stood in line at Sean Michelle's for 2 hours, and you told me it was good.
That's right.
Right? Like Sissy's Taco Bar that's happening, that's coming up, that you promoted here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
That's right.
Same thing. If somebody's taco isn't right, I'm coming to you.
Right. You told me to go there.
You told me to go there.
And sometimes people would get so offended and upset with you for what you sent out, and they didn't get the experience you said they were going to get.
Yep.
And of course, right, the beauty in it is that every business is going to get critiqued.
Yep.
Right? It's the businesses that are going to survive that have the stamina to take those critiques, identify what are real concerns, right? And then be able to address them in a way. And then and this is so crazy with us as black people, and Sean Michelle's is an incredible example of it. Prior to COVID, we would have conversations about how if a black person went up north and went to an ice cream shop and the line was long, they would sit there and have a wonderful time waiting for their ice cream, talking to people, meeting people, right? And just be happy. And you take that same person and bring them on 47th Street and the line is too long. What the hell is going on? What's the problem in that?
Listen, I don't want to hurt feelings, but I mean the anger and the level of anger people get sometimes when you have to wait south of Roosevelt. Right? Because I can go wait up north at a black-owned business and be just as excited. I waited for 2 hours to eat at X. Right. You decided to wait an hour at a restaurant or a business south of Roosevelt or south of 35th, and now we ain't got our systems together. Could not everybody else just wanted to have been there at that moment?
Exactly.
But now it's not. That's a thing, and that's that consumer role, right?
And so we had to make sure there was an experience. In the line. Yep. Right? When it was hot outside, they would bring out water. Right? Here's some cool water. Sometimes they might get a free scoop, a little small scoop while they're waiting, right? Or something, a new flavor or something. So you had to make it an experience for them so that they were okay with waiting. And then it became contagious. Yep. People said, I saw these other people waiting, so now you're following. Now it's okay to wait. And that transition was absolutely incredible.
But you have to work to get to that transition to make the consumer okay. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what role people can play as it relates to supporting black-owned businesses. You're listening to Minding Our Black-Owned Business on What's in It for the Black People Media. And I've got Toure Muhammad here.
What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. For the black people.
All right, we're back.
All right.
Minding Our Black-Owned Business. We're in our last segment. Toure, this has been fun.
Man, I've enjoyed this.
Yes, talking shop, and we can share this with others so that we can, when we don't feel like talking about it.
Right.
When we
it's
don't
just therapeutic.
Right? That's what I said. I was like, I need to just talk shop with my buddy right quick as it relates to all of this. So we talked about strategy. We talked about, or kind of like our role as the strategist and how important that is. We talked about businesses that we have essentially believed in, started relationships, that type of thing. What's our expectation from the consumer? What role do the non-business owners play in your strategies?
Well, that's a very important question that people don't reflect on enough, I think, and talk about. We want you as a consumer to explore, try this new business, right? And understand that their goal should be to get you to buy and then become what I tell my customers, my clients, is the most important thing in business. Don't matter what business you're in, here's what you're trying to do. Get long-term repeat customers.
Man.
That's it. Long-term repeat customers.
No gimmicks.
No gimmicks. Right.
Long-term success outweighs, and it's that patience in the beginning. It is and for me, I always am so appreciative of, in my world, in my orbit, I'm always appreciative of the Tiger Lilies, the Marias, the Beulahs, the people that I know that if I say it, because here's the part, we need, from a strategist standpoint, we need our friends, family, and people that don't know us to know that we've got years in the game of credibility. We are telling you, we're not promoting anything that does not make good sense. We're just not. So we've already hurt the business owner's feelings.
Right.
So sometimes if I don't share it, it was for a reason.
Right.
Just so we're clear, I'm trying to help you, right? Before you jump on a
Help
band.
me to help you.
Man, a lot of times at the new restaurants, and I'm like, don't go now. Just wait. Give them 3 months to figure it out. That whole thing. But do you feel like you only have Black people in your list?
No, well, mostly.
Okay.
Those that are non-Black most times are media people.
Okay.
Right. So, because I keep a lot of them on my list as well. And they could be from the Tribune, sometime wherever, so, but that's the core of it. Social media is a little bit more.
Okay.
Right. Especially with Black Chicago Eats. Right. Yes. Because you have so many people that on the north side saying, okay, I want to come south.
Yep.
But I want to know where I'm going. I want to know what it looks like on the outside before I get there, but I'm going.
I signed Peaches up for the Chicago Architecture Tour.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, until you see, and I love, they get out of the car, they got their phone, and I'm like, Architecture Tour, come on.
Right.
Go, right? Because I want your money. I need your money. But I already know this was a destination for you. So yes, to your point, it's, when you think of us, yes, we've got Black people and we can move Black people, but we can move other audiences too. And we do move other audiences.
Right.
If that product is good, if what you're doing is good, that's the part and I'm glad you said the part where I'm good business and I happen to be Black. So that's the bonus. That's the check the box.
That's right.
That's the check the box part. So we've got the client, we've got the consumers.
Oh.
What? Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, but for that consumer, you get to the point where you try to educate them enough to walk in not expecting something bad.
Yep.
Because we do have that. Okay, let me go. I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go support this Black-owned business. I'm gonna go see.
And that's not going away anytime soon.
Yep.
Do you think
it's hard?
Do you think that's going? That mindset?
No,
I don't.
It's slowly changing, right?
Yeah.
But not in anything incremental where you can see a measurable difference, right?
Yeah. I think more of our businesses have to our overall experience at multiple businesses have to consistently be great to the standard of success of others.
Now, here's the challenge. Here's what is so crazy to me. If you tell someone they're going to have a great experience, and there's enough people who have gone and had a great experience, the likelihood that person goes and have a great experience grows.
Yes.
So that's what I mean about testimonies are so important.
Word of mouth.
Right. So I can say if you went and had a bad experience, I can say, well, look, they got 5-star rating. Look at all these great reviews.
Yep.
Right. So what you experienced was not the norm.
Yep.
Give them another chance.
And
right?
as a business owner, you have to be okay with saying that. I'm all about the full you know what? It was not a good day today at X, Y, and Z place, and I'm gonna own it and come back and try it again. Right? That's that role of the consumer too. Now I always ask people to give us 3 tries, wherever it is.
That's right.
Give me 3. Now after that 3, after the 2, I'm mad with you. Right? I tell everybody I'm mad too. What, they forgot your grits?
Right.
Your whole grits? Oh no.
You came for the grits.
Somebody about to lose their job over these grits. Trust me. But we need the consistency. We need for the consumer to be consistent enough, just like we expect the business owner to be consistent in their product, in their offerings, in their being open and closed and that stuff. We need that from the consumer as well.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so
That's right. It's a relationship, right?
is.
It is a good relationship, and give that Black-owned business who if you know they're new, if you know they're 2 years in the business, don't compare them to a business that's been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because they had a chance to figure some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
Right? If you went to Portillo's when it was just a hot dog stand,
Yeah.
they might have put ketchup on there one time.
Yeah. Right.
They might have done something that it just happens. And we have those bad experiences in other places, but we don't seem sometimes to get as upset.
No, well, you know
Right?
what? You know what? Nope. I live in the suburbs, and the groups and they go in. They just go in the private Facebook groups. I used to think like that until I was like, oh, you guys are going hard on everyone. Okay, we're just angry. We're just super angry as a culture.
Angry birds, right?
But it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. You've got something coming up.
Yeah, so we have a pop-up with Sissy's Taco. So this one, first of all, this young lady grew up eating authentic street tacos, right? Has just and makes amazing tacos for her family, friends. Everyone loves the tacos.
Okay.
And so she decided to make this into a business.
Okay.
Right? So she has started a pop-up. This is collaboration here, which is so beautiful. She's doing a pop-up at Mabe's Deli.
Okay.
And it's going to be starting next week, November 5th, every Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
At least to the end of the year.
Okay.
Where she's going to be there from 6:30 to 9:30 offering authentic street tacos, vegetarian.
That's awesome.
Salmon, sriracha shrimp. So it's just an absolutely amazing place to be. So Mabe's usually closes at 6.
Okay.
So now this gives her opportunity to come in the evening. We thought it would be, that more stuff would be open. So of course, you have Limbs, you got Brown Sugar Bakery, you have Francis Bar. 75th Street right there stays active even after 6 o'clock.
Right. Yes, it does.
Yes.
I've gone to Francis. And strategically right now, this is where we're at. This is where the industry is, right? We're collaborating where it's going to make some sense. We're taking existing brick and mortar businesses and saying, oh, you close at 5? I got someone else that can come in and use the facility and possibly make some money, because right now we're not just open. Well, I have seen people that are opening up businesses, but we've got to be strategically. We've got to be creative.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
We've got to be that type of creative that's going to make it make some sense, that the profit margin or the time it takes you to make a profit is way shorter.
That's right.
Than when it would have been if you said, I'm going to open up a taco bar. It doesn't work like that necessarily.
Right. That's right.
So, okay, so we're going to get out and get some tacos.
Yep, those tacos are slamming. I've had most of them. I don't eat shrimp, so that's the only one I haven't had.
Okay.
But the other ones are absolutely delicious.
Okay.
And she got some other amazing stuff on there too. She has a salsa with avocado and pineapples.
That doesn't sound right for me.
Ooh, I'm telling you, I didn't think it would sound right
Sounds
either.
very healthy.
But it's good.
Is it?
It's tasty.
Okay. All right. I'm not saying
All healthy is not non-tasty.
I'm not saying I'm trying that. So I got to talk shop with Toure for an hour. Our time is almost up.
Time is almost up.
Yes, but Sissy's Taco Bar. So typically I ask people, what 3 businesses would you send people to? What 3 Black-owned businesses that you would send our listening audience to? So Sissy's, obviously, this pop-up is one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your other?
Brown Sugar Bakery.
Absolutely.
And
She's got a special going on with the caramel cake for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Saw that.
So go to her page and check that out, the Brown Sugar Bakery page.
Yep.
And then I have a lot of love for Dan's Soul Food Cafe on 79th Street with Dolphin Norris.
Yes.
30 years. They've been around for 30 years in the same location, offering that. What I see on Facebook, people comment on it, that it's a Memphis style soul food.
Really? I've never been. I've heard of it, but I've never been. And I think that needs to be the challenge or the charge over probably for the next end of the year. Go somewhere different. So I've got my rotation of businesses that I support. I've got them. I do it. But I did say, let me try some other ones. Let me do some new ones. And I would challenge the audience to find somebody new. Right?
Find somebody new. And Tenille, I like curating lists and doing things like that, right?
Yes, we did not get to talk about how you shut down Black People Eat. Black Chicago Eats. Sorry, Jeremy.
Right, that's my man.
We love you, Jeremy. But before there was a Black People Eats, there was a Black Chicago Eats having festivals in the parking lot. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you back. Will you come back?
Oh man, I'd love to come back.
All right, very
so,
good.
but here's something else we're doing now. We're curating Black Muslim-owned businesses.
I saw that.
And we're going to do a launch this tonight. We're doing a launch on this. We have a new online platform called NFA Studios.
Okay.
So, man, people can come check that out. But we want to, when you talk about integrity, right? We want to make sure that people know some places they can go. If it's a restaurant, it's this. They can expect certain things, right? You can expect, okay, I know no pork is going to be sold here. Okay, I can expect some kind of code of ethics, right? So that's going to be amazing and fun. So this tonight at 5 o'clock Central Time.
I love it.
6 o'clock Central Time.
Love it.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you for being here today. I want you to come back. We got to figure it out.
Man, let me know. Man, I want to be part of. I want to be part of the family. Man,
I think you should.
I feel at home here.
Right? I mean, right? And this is good. You are tuned in, or you have been listening to Minding Our Black-Owned Business with host me, Tenille Jackson. My guest today was Toure Muhammad of Bean Soup Times, and we talked all things digital strategy, the role of the client, the role of the consumer, and we hope you'll tune back in next week. And you're on What's in It for the Black People Media. Follow me on Instagram at Socially Tenille. I'm going to get this right. Maze is on me and I'm going to get it. But follow me on Instagram at Socially Tenille. Or also you can find me on LinkedIn. And thank you for everybody that's been following me on LinkedIn at Tenille Jackson. Thank you very much. We're still... we're talking.
Oh, so we're just talking?
Yes.
Are we real talking or we just...
I don't know. We
doing it for the gram? We doing it for the vine?
For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people.